Hey Ghosties, I'm Harley,
And I'm Kandis.
and this is Haunted Through the Ages. So, you have something to tell me that you've been keeping from me for like 2 days. So you wanted to wait for the podcast.
Yes, because it involves the podcast. Yeah.
Oh,
Shocker. Didn't tell you that part.
no.
So, you had the day off
Mm-hmm.
at our place of employment, and I got stuck there with nobody except for one particular person,
Mm-hmm.
our dear friend, David.
Not
not,
Dear David.
Not Dear David.
a different David.
It involves that as well. So, our number one supporter, just kidding, he's not. But
I think it's Doug. He fucking loves it.
I love it. I love that for Doug. But Dave said he listened to the podcast. He listened to Dear David.
Okay.
And he said that he waited to, for his big reveal in the episode. And part one never was about him. So he was like, absolutely, definitely part two is going to be about me. Absolutely, definitely part two. So he waited and waited and waited and listened to all of part two and was, he's like, no, I'm not well. Like, I didn't hear anything about me. There was nothing about me. Like, did we give you false hope? And he's like, yeah, that was false advertisement. Like, I absolutely thought this was going to be about me. It says, Dear David, I'm Dear David. So,
And I call him David.
mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I think that started because even though none of you watch it, but Schitt's Creek. So when
lots
I meet
of
him,
people
I'm like,
watch it, believe it or not.
David.
We just don't.
That's always how I talk to him, and he just turns and looks at me like,
I had
get her
to
away from me.
YouTube that just so that I understood what you were talking about, even though I probably should watch the show and I really want to, but
You would love it.
it's just a moment of, like I get
When you're
wrapped up
ready.
in everything else.
Mm-hmm.
I did watch a few of the first season, a few episodes in the first season, but yeah, he was like, no, this is not okay.
Well, then in that case, I think today is my episode, and I would like to dedicate it to David.
Here you go, Dave. It's all for you.
None of it's about you.
It's not about you, but it's for you.
We'll dedicate it to you. It was just because he was crabby. He had a long week.
He had to be Doug. It's tough being Doug has big shoes, especially when he wears two different colored ones.
You're absolutely right.
I was in the middle of swallowing my drink. Literally almost spit at you. Love you, Doug.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, yeah, he does do that sometimes.
I have pictures. Like, I've got literal receipts.
You've got the proof. Oh, that's so funny.
I said, what happened? Did you get dressed in the dark? Shut up.
Oh, goodness.
So,
well,
what are we learning about today?
Today, for Dave's episode, we are talking about Hotel Chelsea in New York City. And you would think it was the Chelsea Hotel. Even their website says Hotel Chelsea, so that's what I'm going with. Hotel Chelsea sits on West 23rd Street in the Chelsea neighborhood of Manhattan. Before the hotel was constructed, a furniture store stood on the site, but that was burned down in 1878, and the site remained vacant until construction began on the hotel in 1883. Its initial purpose was to serve as a socialist commune where residents would share services and fuel and other things, and it's actually known as one of the first successful co-ops in New York City. By 1905, the apartments had to file bankruptcy, and there are a lot of factors that led to that, which we'll touch base on. By the end of the 1800s, more houses were being built further north in Manhattan. The city's theater district was relocated, so a lot of middle-class residents were moving out. There were also two economic crashes, which occurred in 1893 and another in 1901, and the building took more hits. Then, as time went on, original stockholders in the Chelsea's association were either dying, moving away, or involved in illegal financial matters. And with so many long-term residents leaving, this led to an overflow of short-term residents, and that really changed the scene and the vibe of the building. In 1905, the apartments were converted into a hotel. And then by the 1920s, the hotel was described by the New York Herald Tribune as, quote, headquarters for painters and writers. Over the years, it saw a lot of famous faces like Janis Joplin, Madonna, Andy Warhol, Mark Twain, Arthur Miller, and maybe, depending on how you feel about it, maybe on the more infamous side, Sex Pistols bassist Sid Vicious and his, quote, groupie-turned-girlfriend, Nancy Spungen. This is the hotel that Nancy was murdered in 1978. So that's a pretty big part of the hotel, so we're going to deep dive into the true crime behind that a little bit and talk about what happened that night that Nancy was murdered. So Sid and Nancy moved into the hotel in August of 1978. Both of them, unfortunately, and most people probably know, suffered from extreme drug addictions. It was mostly heroin. And according to sources who knew the couple, even the people around them in the drug and music scene were worried about them. Which is saying a lot because the majority of people in that particular scene at the time were often on drugs and drinking to excess. And even they were concerned about the amount of drugs the couple would ingest. They were known to go on binges lasting weeks at a time. And on the night of October 11th, 1978, several of Sid's friends were in the couple's room and watched Sid take copious amounts of drugs. According to Cheryl Tippins, who wrote Inside the Dream Palace, The Life and Times of New York's Legendary Chelsea Hotel, quote, several visitors to the room saw Sid take as many as 30 tablets of, I think it's Tunol. I've never heard of that drug before. A far larger dose of the barbiturate than most of us could survive, and one certain to put nearly anyone into a deep state of unconsciousness for hours, and he remained comatose through the morning's early hours. Then around 2:30 in the morning, Nancy asked a man named, get this, Rocket's Red Glare, was what he went by.
I have like the dumbest look on my face right
You're
now.
like, what?
It was maybe that's because that's what he saw in one of his drug-induced moments.
It might
so
have
he
been.
was like, this is what I identify with now. So
Rocket's Red Glare was a bodyguard / drug dealer for Sid, and he primarily dealt him Dilaudid, which, if you've never been on it, it's an opioid painkiller, and it's fun. You see why people get addicted. Yeah. It's one of those things that you really want to avoid.
Never was on that one. Even after all of the surgeries and everything that I've had, I never wanted to be on anything that could potentially become a habit forming.
Right.
The one I do remember I was given in the hospital was fentanyl. And I can tell you, Lord. I understand how people can get addicted to that because, wow. But yeah, Dilaudid, I never wanted that. The highest one that I would take is, like ibuprofen, Tylenol 3 or something like that. Like nothing too habit forming at all.
Yeah, I think they were Dilaudid. I think it was Dilaudid both times. I had my surgery when I was 17 for my gallbladder. And I took it pretty, I think, consistently after that because I felt like it hurt and
Mhm.
I was 17 and stupid
Sure.
and didn't know any better. Probably the least bad thing I was doing. Um, but then nothing else until I had Bubba
Mhm.
because I had the C-section.
Yeah.
So they sent me home with stuff, but you have to sign all this paperwork. And I wasn't interested in it because you're really not supposed to drive.
Right.
And then he was in the NICU for 10 days
Oh.
after. So I was back and forth because they would only let me stay in the hospital like the 2 days because of my C-section. But at the time we were moving houses anyway. So I had to like see him in the morning in the NICU, go home and help move. I'd go back later in the day to spend time with him in the NICU till
All while trying to
like,
heal yourself.
yeah. And so I wasn't taking anything because I'm like, well, I need to be able to drive up
Right.
there. I'm not going to not be with him. So I only took one because I lifted a box. This was 48 hours after my C-section. I lifted a box and I thought I ripped all my stitches open. It
Oh, good
hurt so
Lord.
bad. Thankfully, nothing was ripped. It just hurt really bad. So I was like, okay, time for a painkiller. So I took one when that happened, but that was it. I'm
That's
like,
it.
yeah, I don't want to
No.
be all fuzzy. And especially, too, because you're trying to like breastfeed or pump or whatever. And it's
Oh,
like, you don't want
sure.
all that in your body. So
No, because,
just not for me.
yeah, no. Plus, you don't want a, hopped up child either,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, definitely. But anyway, that's mostly what Sid was getting from Mr. Rocket's red glare. So at about 7:30 that next morning, hotel residents and guests heard what they described as female moans coming from the couple's room. And just based off of that, you can assume it could be many different things. But it said that because of the clientele back then, which included a lot of wild celebrities and rock stars, screams, moans, cries were not unusual, so nobody really thought anything of it. And a quick note, the Chelsea, this is a fun side note,
Oh.
the Chelsea was actually known for famous orgies in the 70s, and those continued until 2011 when new management was brought in.
And they're the ones that are going to clean this up. Like, all right,
They're
we're
like,
going to put a stop to this. It's been going on far too long.
Yeah. They were kind of famous for their orgies. And there was one woman in particular that like ran them out of the hotel. So
Oh, crap.
she found her success there, obviously, if it went till 2011. I don't know if she was participating all that time, but wow.
Ew. It's
So
just ew.
you could really hear or see anything there.
Anything.
And another little side note, well, there were wild people staying there and you could hear or see anything. I did see an interview with an employee of the hotel who was working there at the time that Nancy and Sid stayed there. And they were not known to be loud, despite their lifestyle. He said that most people didn't even know they were living there. And despite their extremely volatile relationship, both of them were actually known to be very nice to hotel staff. They'd never had an issue with them.
Yeah. I am not, like I said, I'm not familiar with the band. I do know a history of Sid and Nancy, though, because those two names, they're very famous names.
Oh,
so
extremely, yeah.
Though I'm not familiar with the band or the band's music, I do know Sid and Nancy very well, name-wise. But again, I don't know dates, and I don't know who died when and where.
Right. Well, we're going to find out all about it.
Yeah, like I need to know. Now I need to know.
So they weren't going all like Motley Crue and, flinging TVs out of hotel windows and shit.
We don't judge.
It's fine, but they weren't doing that. They were just known to have like a very unhealthy relationship, though. So a couple hours after the moans were heard at 10 a.m., Sid called the front desk and he asked for help. Staff members arrived to find 20-year-old Nancy Spungen dead and half naked on the bathroom floor.
Oh, goodness.
She'd been brutally stabbed in the stomach with a knife and had apparently bled to death. Sid was arrested and charged with Nancy's murder immediately. He was the only other person there.
Yeah.
Several sources initially reported that Sid had confessed to the crime, which was why the police hadn't suspected anyone else. And according to the Daily Mail, Sid even reportedly said, quote, "I did it because I'm a dirty dog," while he was in a holding cell at the 3rd Homicide Division. Keep in mind, he was also extremely medicated at this point.
Oh, yeah.
And so it didn't take him long for him to recant his confession, claiming that he had been asleep while the murder had occurred. He also said that he couldn't remember anything that happened that night, which personally I believe if he was that messed up on drugs and according to his friends was comatose,
Yeah.
he might have been knocked out that hard to not hear something.
With he had like deathly amounts of narcotics in his system.
Yeah.
So yeah, like how could you remember?
Mm-hmm. It's not a person saying, no, I was here. I was sober. I was just sleeping and not hearing a brutal
eyes
murder.
were probably definitely not open
right
at all. So if anything happened and it involved him, he wasn't doing it consciously.
Right. So though police were skeptical, Sid's friends and family members believed him, and he had a lot of public support. Granted, I wasn't around for this, but according to reports, he, was pretty supported.
Well, I was one. Just gonna throw that out
You
there.
were very young, though, so I don't think you'd remember much anyway.
No. I can barely remember last night.
One source close to the couple said, quote, "She was his first and only love of his life. I am positive about Sid's innocence." And either way, Sid didn't remain in jail for long and was released on bail. Rumor has it that the Sex Pistols had broken up by this point and Sid had spent most of his money on drugs. And he couldn't afford, that's fact. Here's the rumor. Sorry. I should clarify. They were broken up by this point. Most of his money went to drugs. No surprise.
Facts.
Rumor has it he couldn't afford a lawyer, so Mick Jagger is said to have paid for his representation, believing in his friend's innocence. So they really rallied around him. But unfortunately, shortly after his release from jail, he was found dead of a heroin overdose in his new girlfriend's apartment on February 2nd, 1979.
Wow.
That was October to February. So it didn't take long. That life definitely caught up very quickly. The night before, he'd been partying with his girlfriend, his mother, and a few of his friends. And though Sid was no stranger to heroin, this batch was unusually powerful, which led to his demise.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
No, please do.
What does it say what ages he was? Their ages?
Yep, that was actually my next one.
Okay.
Like Spungen, Vicious had died young and was only 21 years old.
Okay. So
he was 21, she was 20.
So they weren't in the group of the 26s or 25s, whatever.
The 27 club?
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
Didn't even make it there. So sad.
Or babies.
That's a hard life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to have your name out there in this way by 21 years old is just wild.
It's tragic.
And also, we're going to talk more about it, but if he's innocent, for decades, people thinking that you're a murderer. And if he didn't,
Yeah. Yeah. So he died with this, guilty verdict on his head.
Right. It's a very sad story. But with Sid dead and their prime suspect gone, police found it pointless to pursue the case any further, and the investigation was over. So they really just gave up. However, Sid's friends and relatives and other theorists, and frankly a lot of people I found out, remain convinced that he did not kill Nancy. In the years since Nancy's death, several theories have floated around, though. A lot of people believe that Brockett's red glare was the murderer, though he claimed to be innocent until his death in 2001. Other people have thought that her death was part of a botched double suicide, and one musician who was with Sid on the night that he overdosed even suggested that Nancy had stabbed herself in an attempt to get Sid's attention so that he would, quote, rescue her only to succumb to her wound.
Mm-mm.
Which, I mean, they did have a very volatile relationship and they were both on a lot of drugs, so maybe.
Possibly.
But
Well,
I think
and
she died of several stab wounds, so I don't know how much she'd do it in a row.
being that,
It's not like where she was super hopped up on drugs and she just did one and then it hit her. I don't know.
well, and with if they did the autopsy or whatever, wouldn't they be able to see the angle of the knife if it was self-inflicted?
That is very true. And
I
that's
mean,
something I didn't look into.
if technology was even that advanced then.
Right. There have been a lot of renovations made to the hotel. So room 100, where this occurred, was actually combined with another room. And this gave it a living space in addition to the bedroom and bathroom. So technically, you can still see where all of this happened today, but I'm not sure of the room number, which I mean, they did on purpose. However, I do know that it's on the first floor, right past the front desk and the staircase. I did watch a video. There was a guy who did find the room, and he went in, and it was kind of a cool video because you really got to see what went down as far as they know, because they showed, like, he kind of cut into the video her shape next to the toilet, kind of leaning up against it where her body had been found.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow.
it was an interesting video.
Wow.
And according to loudwire.com, there are reports that visitors to the Hotel Chelsea over the years have reported seeing Sid Vicious himself in both the hotel room where Nancy died, as well as the hotel's elevator. The elevator seems to be his favorite place to hang out and the most common place for sightings. Others have spotted the musician opening and closing doors, and guests staying in the room that Nancy died in have reported hearing a couple arguing, someone playing loud music, and even temperature changes. Now, Nancy's death is by far the most famous that's taken place in the hotel, but it's certainly not the only. The Chelsea has had a ton of deaths surrounding it, and we're going to cover a handful of them today. The other one we're going to talk about is Society Girl. I think it's Elmira Wilcox, who died of an overdose of sleep medication there in 1908. And it hasn't been confirmed if it was accidental or it was suicide, because I didn't add this in here and I don't know why. But I believe there was a letter written to her lover at the time. So they thought maybe it could have been a suicide thing, but they're not sure. The following year, artist Frank Kavecki committed suicide at the hotel. Charles R. Jackson, author of The Lost Weekend, committed suicide there in 1968. In 1974, Billy Maynard, a photographer who specialized in glam rock acts and trans performers like the Cockettes, which is my favorite thing.
Wait, that's an actual band name?
There are performers.
Oh, good.
Yep, trans performers.
Okay.
The Cockettes.
Get it, ladies.
But their photographer, Billy Maynard, was beaten to death in his room. And lock that little tidbit away for later because that may come back. In 1989, composer Virgil Thompson, who was a longtime resident, and club kid Christina Superstar both died at the hotel. Jamie Burke, who's listed as a head carpenter and construction coordinator on several Hollywood projects, including Jigsaw, American Psycho, and Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle.
I love that movie.
So good.
Just gonna throw that out there.
They're great movies.
Those two together are
That one's
unstoppable.
good. I think my favorite one is Guantanamo Bay.
I love the
though.
Guantanamo.
That one's so good.
Yeah.
Neil Patrick Harris is so fucking funny. He's so good.
That was a part that I was not expecting. Him.
You saw a whole different side of him, and it made me love him
great.
even more.
It was so great. Like,
and then the mom from National Lampoon, I forget her name, but she was at the brothel.
Yeah.
So good.
It's a great movie, guys. Get out there and see it.
So one of their carpenters and construction coordinators, he called the Chelsea, quote, "This is so good. A vortex, an artistic tornado of death and destruction and love and broken dreams." They've
That
got a
should
lot
be
going
printed
on
a shirt.
I know. They should have a plaque with that on it.
Like a dedication or something.
Yeah. Like, this is dedicated to David.
We love you, David.
Wait till he hears it. So now we're going to go all the way back to 1912 to start covering all of the spooky things.
The spooky things. I'm so excited.
I don't know if you guys will remember, but in, I don't know, maybe the first or second episode of the podcast, I had talked about researching something that scared the shit out of me because I had to watch a video and it was horrible. That was not Dear David. It was this. It was this story we're about to talk about.
Okay, I definitely thought it was Dear David.
No. It was very scary, and I'll tell you about it when it comes up. So one of the Chelsea's most famous spirits is that of a woman named Mary, a.k.a. the Vane Ghost. That'll come back around.
Okay.
Mary's husband and his brother were returning home from England after collecting an inheritance. She wanted to surprise them at the dock in New York, so she checked into the hotel nearby, which was the Chelsea. And unfortunately, the men, like our other friend, Major Archibald Butt, from our first White House episode, also had tickets home on the Titanic.
Yeah.
And both men perished in the sinking. So, needless to say, Mary was fucked up over that. She was depressed and distraught, and she eventually hung herself on the 5th floor of the hotel, determined to reunite with her husband. She never left, apparently, because these days, Mary is most likely to be seen looking into the mirrors of the hotel, which is the reason for her nickname.
Okay.
Those who see her in the mirror claim that she appears to be kind of like primping herself a little bit, like she's about to see somebody
ready
important.
For her man.
So maybe it's just replaying her about to go see her husband again after
probably what she did before she took her own self.
Some speculate that she wants, like we said, to look her best for her husband, but it's recommended that if you see her, do not compliment her. She doesn't like it. I think she knows her worth, doesn't need your validation, and she'll be very aggressive towards strangers. That's just my take on why she's like that. I think she's just like, I know.
I don't need to hear it from you.
I don't need to hear it. Please move on. I need to
forward,
find my husband.
I've got this. Thank you, ladies.
Yeah. One of the most notable figures to meet Mary is Sopranos star Michael Imperioli. I've never watched it. I know it's a great show. Maybe one day I'll get into it, but I've never watched it.
My mother-in-law raves about this show, so I too have never seen it.
People are fucking obsessed with, still, I think, with The Sopranos. It's still a show you hear about.
Yeah.
So, Michael Imperioli was, I think that's how you say it. According to him, he was living in the hotel in 1996 after a breakup. And while getting to know other guests, he was asked if he'd met Mary yet, and he just assumed it was one of the other long-term guests. About a month later, Michael stepped off of the elevator. This was the video I watched because he did, I forget what show it's on. I don't know if I added it in here, but he was on some ghost show where they talk about ghost sightings. So of course, like Ghost Adventures, they play the bullshit reenactments that are more scary than the actual story.
Was this the one where he went on with the medium though? Like a medium, like the celebrity ghost stories or something like that?
No.
Okay.
No, he was just like telling about the time he saw a ghost.
Okay.
And they're, flipping from him to playing the reenactment, which was terrifying.
Ugh.
It was very scary. Ugh. So About a month after that, Michael stepped off of the elevator and the hallway light was dimmed. As he approached his door, he heard a woman sobbing and turned around to find the figure of a woman at the end of the hall, hunched over in the corner.
Mm-mm.
Nope, not happening. Girl, I'm sorry.
No.
You're sad. You got to figure this out because I'm not the one.
Look, here, I'll throw you a tissue or something, but moving on. No.
Yep. So, we don't comfort people we don't know. They might be a ghost. Sorry. Sorry, we don't.
Moving forward, understand if you are sad, sorry.
Gonna have to figure that out. According to Michael, Mary was wearing a very long black dress that looked like it was 100 years old. But Michael said that it didn't really faze him because guests at the Chelsea could be very eclectic, so it didn't strike him as odd. And he could see Mary so clearly that he could actually see her shoulders like moving with the sobs. So it doesn't sound like she was transparent or anything. Like she sounded pretty solid.
Yeah.
But the weird thing was it didn't sound like the sobs were coming from her mouth, but more so just in like that general direction.
No.
It's so gross. He called out to ask if the woman was okay. And from behind him, he heard what sounded like a, quote, big pop. And the light bulb in the fixture behind him exploded. And when he turned around, Mary was gone.
Mary, get yourself together. We're not here to help you anymore.
So he had said in that interview, he saw, if it was like a couple days later, he saw the guest who had asked him if he'd met Mary. They were like getting food in the cafe. He's like, so, I met Mary. I understand now why you asked me if I'd met Mary yet. I'm pretty sure that was her.
We have been introduced.
That's funny. And that, keep in mind, that was in 1996. And he was talking about this on this TV show like well into the 2000s. So it stuck with him for sure. Another popular ghost is Nadia. About 10 years after Mary's death, in March of 1922, Nadia jumped to her death from a fifth floor window. Now, this is kind of weird, but every source I found called her Nadia, aka the severed hand ghost.
Oh no.
Yep. But according to a newspaper article written about the accident back in 1922, her actual name was, I think it's Atelka Graf. So I don't know how they go from Atelka to Nadia, but that's what everyone else called her. Okay. So I couldn't find an explanation, but I just went with Nadia because it was a little easier. According to the paper, she grew up in the hotel in their most expensive suite, and she was the daughter of a wealthy silk merchant. She was an artist, but her plans to pursue her vision were cut short when she met a handsome songwriter, and going against her father's wishes, she ran away with him to get married. True love story.
You know, you can't fight the feeling.
Unfortunately, that man she fell in love with became an alcoholic and left her to raise their two children alone.
Oh, shocker.
She then eventually returned to the Chelsea and pleaded with her father to allow her to come home, and he said that she could, but only under one condition, which honestly sounds reasonable. She had to take on family chores and help bring in income.
Okay.
Which, welcome to life.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, life became too much to bear. She had no time for her art anymore, and eventually she had just had enough. According to the article I found from the Times, after cutting off her left hand with a pair of sewing scissors and throwing it under her bed,
oh God,
Mrs. Atelka Graf, 38, jumped from the fifth floor window of her apartment at the Hotel Chelsea yesterday and landed on the third floor balcony. Her two ankles and left arm were fractured, and her head and face severely lacerated. Physicians at Bellevue Hospital were surprised that Mrs. Graff could have stood the pain of amputating her own hand. She had been suffering from a nervous disease. It was thought she was demented at the time of the amputation. Mrs. Graff, an Italian, arrived at the Hotel Chelsea a week ago to visit her aged parents. She came from Paducah, Kentucky.
Oh, I fucking hate Paducah.
Am I saying it right?
Yes.
Oh. Please share.
Oh my God.
What's your hate for Paducah?
Because literally. Because the name keeps just fucking showing up in my life. So we drove down I have relatives in Tennessee.
Yes, you do.
And we gathered us girls and drove down to surprise my cousin for her baby shower. So we all gathered together. My sister and I drove in a car, and then our three girls, my niece and then my daughters, drove in the car behind us.
Okay.
And normally I use my Google GPS because that doesn't fail me. Well, I heard really good things about this Wazy app. So Wazy.
Waze.
Okay. Hate it. So I'm going to say it wrong anyway. I don't care. So I'm like, oh, let's do this one. And it would give you like where the speed traps are and like this and that. So I decided this is the app we're going to trust to go to a place that we've never been hours and hours away. And it drove us through Paducah, which was the longest nowhere zone in the state of Kentucky. Like, we shouldn't have even been in there. Like, any other time we would go completely around Paducah, never been there. Been down to Tennessee many times, never been to Paducah. Even Jennifer has mentioned moving to Paducah, and I'm like, can you not say that in front of me? I can't. So, and then my friend CJ would, like anytime we'd ever hear the word Paducah.
I'm so sorry.
I have personal vengeance against this city. Yes. And if you live there, I love you for that. I'm sorry, but I hate your town because it was in the middle of the night. We were completely lost. This app has failed me and we're stuck in Paducah.
It is a small town. It says their population is only 24,000.
Yeah, they probably have like one stoplight and we got stuck at it. Didn't even need to be there. We finally get to my aunt's house and she was like, they took you through Paducah? And I'm like,
I apologize to any residents in Paducah who this might reach.
And I bet you, and it's probably a beautiful area, and and they're super sweet. Sure. Like the Southern hospitality is great. I love the South. Don't get me wrong, but Paducah. Okay.
Well, that's where her and her husband had gone to after running away together.
And you know what? I can see it now. Like that's where people go to not exist anymore.
Oh, good Lord. So she came from Paducah, Kentucky, where her husband is in business. She brought her 11-year-old daughter, Cora, with her. And that is before our rant there about Paducah.
Sorry.
That whole thing was the actual article from the Times in 1922. So it's weird, though, because it says, she had her 2 kids. She brought her kids with her. But then this article says she only brought her 11-year-old daughter with her. So I'm not sure what the story is. They could have been wrong. People have claimed to see her ghost walking up and down the sidewalk outside of the hotel, like she's trying to come back home.
Aww.
So
now I'm sad.
It is sad. My thought is she obviously had some mental health issues that got her to do the things that she did. And, I don't know, on top of having the alcoholic husband who wasn't helping with kids, and who knows if he was working in business, but how much money was he bringing in? How much were they struggling? Who knows? So it is very sad. Sources say that she is transparent and wearing a long, wispy gown, and it's reported that people, I don't like this, will also see her on their balconies.
Just, random homes in that area?
No, of the hotel.
Oh, okay. Still at the hotel.
Yes, we're at the hotel. We don't leave the hotel. Well, we
can. Oh,
yeah,
that's
she doesn't
sad.
want to leave the hotel. She's still there, and
So she's
I
just
think she's finding any way
popping
to
in
get
different
in
rooms.
that she can try to get in, which is so sad.
Wow. She's trying to see somebody she remembers.
Yeah, maybe. It's been over 100 years.
You're not going to find anybody that you remember.
No. According to digital artist and longtime Chelsea Hotel resident Brian Bothwell, front desk employees always had to address the ghost problem and move overnight guests from one room to the next. There was always a guest calling the front desk, wanting to change rooms due to something they saw or something they felt. A nighttime security guard told a resident that a call girl named Victoria, who dressed and styled herself like Betty Boop, died of AIDS while living in the hotel. Sometime later, the room's new tenant called the guard asking that her room be changed because she'd look in the mirror and she saw the image of Victoria staring back at her. Boop, bangs, and all.
Oh.
She sounds adorable. I mean, don't look in the mirror at me, but she sounds nice. God bless her.
If I look in a mirror and I see her reflection, I might have questions.
There will be questions.
But wait, how did I get my hair like that?
There's also, you're going to love this, another ghost who's called Larry the Hipster.
Oh, God.
He's another ghostly presence at the Hotel Chelsea, known for his cryptic messages about the hotel's unique energy. He claims that while everything inside the Chelsea is real, the outside world is merely an illusion, and hints at a mysterious power beneath the hotel that predates its existence. I couldn't find when Larry the Hipster died. Sounds recent, but Larry the Hipster was in every article about this freaking hotel, but I couldn't find details about who he was before his death or when he died. All they keep saying is that he is a very chatty spirit. He is a spirit you can apparently have a conversation with. Like, he's spilling all the tea. He wants everyone to know all the tea. He's just here for it.
Ew. I don't want to.
And there's a website called chelseahotelblog.com, and it has some really good stories about people who have had experiences and stayed there, so I wanted to share a few. My mom, sister, and I stayed at the Chelsea Hotel a few weeks ago. The three of us decided to take a spur-of-the-moment trip to New York before I had to go back to teaching in the fall. Because it was such a last-minute trip, none of us had taken the time to research the hotel. We had no idea about any of the ghost stories of the Chelsea until after our stay, but from the moment we arrived until the day we left, we had quite an experience. We stayed in room redacted. I did not do that, they did. I want to know what room it is. She did not share what one.
Rude.
And the lights in our bathroom and hallway went off and on over and over while we were there. The people working at the front desk were as nice as they could be, but none of them seemed to have an answer for that. While we were there, we found a small door in our closet. Don't like that. That opened up to what I'm assuming is empty space in the wall. I took a picture of it and I'm attaching it to this email. Look closely on the far left, peeking out from behind the door. It looks like a skeleton with a clown nose.
No. Nope.
I'm not going to show you the picture.
Nope.
I don't have it, but I did look at it and I will find it again and share it to Instagram when we post. So you guys can see. It looked very similar to like what you're kind of looking for in a Dear David picture. David. God bless him. I hope he's fucking happy after this.
I'm telling you, the hair was even standing up.
Oh no, not the hair.
You're welcome, David.
When we were talking about, I was talking to him about Doug's hair the other day, and he's like, I know, and he lifted his hat up. I'm like, Candace, look. He's losing it too.
The more stress they get, the higher it goes.
They're making him crazy. So obviously the skeleton with the clown nose wasn't there in real life. So her thing continues. One night during our stay, my sister met up with a friend, so my mom and I went back to our hotel before getting ready for bed. I was in the bathroom brushing my teeth with the door open, and my mom was in the main room. Suddenly, there was a woman's scream, not high-pitched, almost like singing, right in my ear, really loud. My mom came running into the bathroom because she had heard it too. Another strange thing that happened was on the last night we were there. The sink kept turning off and on full blast, and bubbles were coming up from the drain.
Ew.
Our mom would get up and turn it off, and every time she would lie back down, the sink would come back on. Needless to say, we didn't get much sleep that night. While we were there, the hotel elevator always stopped on the first floor whenever my sister was alone. Which is weird. The first floor is like the main base for it. So. I don't know.
Well, yeah, they make me thinking like they're calling the first floor, which is actually the second floor. Maybe.
So the second story is from another girl, and she says, my boyfriend and I decided to visit New York City this month. It was our first time, and we chose to stay at the Chelsea Hotel for 3 nights. I had little prior knowledge of the hotel's history as far as spiritual visitors, which are supposed to still live there. We were staying on the first floor in room 114. The first 2 nights were fine, and I slept peacefully. However, on the last night, things changed. That night, we ended up going to bed around 1:30 a.m. My boyfriend fell asleep immediately. It was not the same for me. I had a strange feeling, not a good feeling at all. I had this immense fear that stayed with me the entire night. I tried to close my eyes and replay a joyful song in my head, but the eerie thoughts and feelings kept creeping back. I felt my heart beating nearly out of my chest. I began sweating profusely. I tried to cover myself with the blankets and cling on to my boyfriend, but I felt like I was not alone. I suddenly heard a door slam extremely loudly and a man yelling with the sound of frantic footsteps running down the hallway. I froze. The running continued for another 3 minutes or so and then was gone. I then heard the sound of footsteps creeping in the room behind me. This continued the entire night. Somewhere during the course of 2 hours, I suddenly looked up, and right in front of the bedroom mirror, I saw a head in midair. The head seemed to grimace at me, and I will never forget the eyes staring me down, almost bug-eyed. The face seemed to be wearing some kind of theater makeup, bright red lips drawn on very carefully, white face paint, and an ear-length, tightly coiled black hair. And quick side note, the girl in the last story said the picture came out looking like a clown, like a skeleton with a clown nose. Creepy. So her story continues. Suddenly, the face shifted over to a black and white version of the face without the makeup. I froze, and not knowing what to think, I ducked under the bed and pressed tightly to my sleeping partner. After 10 minutes or so, I emerged, and the head was gone. However, I still felt a cold compression next to my right ear for 5 minutes. I have an idea of who this man was after looking at images of the famous that lived there and departed to the afterlife. The picture I observed made my stomach sink. It was the same face, the same grimace, and the same sad, large eyes. It looked like Dylan Thomas's face.
Oh, God. No.
And then the last story I have says, I was living in a large apartment with another person for a few months. It was not a good relationship, and it was constant fighting and arguing. In the room was a small walk-in closet. It had a very high ceiling with a light bulb at the top and a long string that hung down, which you pulled to turn it on. Anyway, one night during one of our usual blow-ups, I had enough and claimed that I was going to pack my suitcase and leave. I yelled that I was tired of his abusive shit, couldn't stand him anymore, that I hated this fucking hotel and was going to leave. I stormed into the closet where I kept my suitcase, pulled open the door, stormed in, reached my hand up to pull on the string for the light, and my hand was in midair. The string moved itself all the way up to the top of the ceiling on its own. I froze with my hand still midair. The closet got ice cold,
Oh.
and I could feel a very strong presence in there with me. After that moment, I knew whatever it was angry that I had cursed the hotel and said that I hated it there. In whatever whisper I could get out, I said, "I'm sorry." And as soon as I said that, the string dropped and dangled in front of me. I slowly backed out of the closet, and the person I was living with was shocked to see that in a matter of 15 seconds, I went from a totally angry, fed up rage to a very somber and quiet. The whole thing really shook me up, and I will always remember it. I told a few friends, most of whom think that in my angry state, I must have just imagined it, but I know it happened. A string just doesn't lift up to the ceiling on its own, and that's my story. It might not be the most exciting, but it did happen.
Mm-hmm.
So another person on the Chelsea Hotel blogger brought her medium friend in to take a tour of the hotel, and while they were walking through, she wrote a list of all the things the medium was seeing or experiencing, and I have that list.
Okay.
So they started in the lobby, and the medium said that there are half a dozen to a dozen spirits hanging around the lobby, hoping every day that someone will notice them.
Aww.
And almost no one ever does. They're lonely and very anxious to be recognized. And wanting to be recognized, I'm like, could it be some of the famous faces? Like, hey, remember when
Oh my
everyone
God.
knew me and now
Right. Look, it's
people just
so-and-so.
walk by?
Yeah.
I didn't think about that till now.
That's really sad, though. Just, could you imagine, like, you're all of eternity, you're just waiting?
Mm-hmm. So then in the elevator, she said that someone was definitely lurking in there, just watching from the corner.
Uh-uh.
I don't know if could that be Sid? Could it be someone else who likes the elevator? Who knows? So then a room on the third floor, West End, she claimed that something terrible, a beating or murder happened in the bathroom. This goes back to the photographer, Billy Maynard, who was beaten to death with a baseball bat.
Okay.
I never found where he was killed. Could it have been there? Or, God forbid, another person. You don't need more of them, but who knows? She said that it was best not to go in there. And another friend who was with them ignored that warning and took a shower there and found deep scratch marks on her chest afterwards. Writer Sparkle Hater, that's real.
I believe it. I had a friend when I was in middle school. I had a friend. Her name was Sparkle. So
Yeah, it's the Sparkle Hater together that got me. Hayter.
Nobody can hate Sparkles. I don't care.
So writer Sparkle Hater, who lived for quite a while on the third floor, had to say this about these findings. A hard drugs dealer lived there for a while. He was also into bestial porn, we later learned. And the cops...
What?
Like bestiality.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
Ew.
That's not fun. Nobody likes that.
No.
If you do, for the love of God, seek help.
Really? And pay no attention to us. Like, move on.
Yeah.
Ew. Because I'm judging.
Yeah. That's fucked up.
Ew.
And the cops came one day to say they had a report that he was keeping a woman there against her will. After he left, a lot of star-crossed lovers stayed in that room, had wall-shaking arguments, soul-rattling arguments. When it was empty, however, and I was away on a book tour, people would hear someone typing on a typewriter in my room. I often saw the shadow, the crouched woman, in a corner of my room late at night, and heard weeping when I walked towards it.
Don't ask her if she's okay.
She disappeared. Any connection?
Mhm.
So I'm wondering if that could be Mary. So there's a lot of things in this
Doggone it,
hotel that
Mary.
cross over.
Well, and a lot of similarities in their stories too.
Yeah. So the medium continued, and on the fifth floor at the west end, one of the little halls leading north, an 1880s era woman's spirit, elegantly dressed, stands over a non existent mirror, touching up her hair over and over eternally. She's anxious about a meeting she's about to have. That's what the medium said. So, Mary, hello. She's all over the place.
I love Mary.
In one of the middle floors, a little boy ghost in 30s era clothes. This was the, keep in mind, this was the note that the friend of the medium was writing down. In 30s era clothes, kicked my friend in the shins hard enough to make her limp the rest of the way upstairs. She actually had a bruise there later. A higher floor, 7th or 8th, west wing, pretty near the elevators, a spirit tried to lure my friend into a, quote, womb-like purple room, end quote, telling her soothingly that she just needed to rest. My friend was sure that if she followed the spirit, she'd be suffocated. Don't like that either. On one middle floor, I think, at the west end, someone had put up voodoo thieves or vevs, I'm not sure, colorful magic symbols all over the walls to counteract bad energy. My friend said the person had an excellent reason to do that, but that they weren't working. Around the 9th floor or so, west end, narrow corridor, I think it was leading north, there was something so upsetting that my friend started crying and ran upstairs to get away from it. In the cellar, in a corridor.
I already don't want. No, I already
Oh no!
I already don't want to know.
In a corridor leading away from the back, perhaps the tunnel that's supposed to lead to 22nd Street, there's a primal, powerful force too scary for my friend to go near. Maybe that's what inspired Dee Dee Ramone to put Sid Vicious's ghost down there in Chelsea Horror Hotel. Drifting through the halls is a young girl in a white Victorian-style nightgown, weeping helplessly and desperate to tell her story to someone. She tried to talk to my friend, but Larry, the famous hipster ghost, kept interrupting.
Fucking Larry.
We could not do a podcast with Larry.
Fucking Larry, shut up.
As you can see, we had a great tour. Interesting that she didn't mention seeing anything in the east half of the hotel except in the cellar. Overall, she said it was the most haunted building she'd visited in New York, except for the New York Public Library on 42nd Street, which, side note, I will definitely cover one day. That one looks fun. She continues, the list here looks pretty negative, but she said there was a wide range of spirits, good and bad, happy and unhappy. Also, she had the impression that many of them were able to come and go from the hotel. They weren't stuck inside the building, so she believes it's a crossroad for spirits as well as artists. And that is Hotel Chelsea. All the spooky stories.
Did you initially say how many floors it had?
I did not. I believe it's about 13.
Okay. Oh, a lucky number. No wonder why it's so freaking on it.
I'm sorry, it has 12. I was off by 1. And it's really beautiful. Let me pull up a picture to show you, and we'll post pictures to the Instagram and stuff.
Wow, that's huge.
It's very big, and it's like a mixture of things for me. I'm like seeing New York.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a little bit of like New Orleans. There's a lot to the architecture.
It's definitely giving me Home Alone vibes.
For sure. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
And inside it's definitely a bit eclectic.
It's massive.
It's very pretty though.
That's how you can see people just getting lost in death there.
Absolutely. Like here, it's like a cafe or a bar. Like, so they've kept the history. It's very beautiful. like with the renovations and stuff.
Ah,
There's another one I wanted to show you.
it'd be worth a visit, but I don't know. I'd be terrified.
How fun would that be to like sit and have lunch there? Like
Yeah.
how
Just,
beautiful.
even by yourself, just sit there
Hmm.
and read a book and just kind of zone out. That's a pretty place.
There is still, as far as I could see, a lot of celebrity sightings there. It's like a very popular place for celebrities to hang out.
I don't know, if I was a celebrity, I'd be like, yeah, I'm going anywhere but there, because apparently that's where I meet my demise.
There is another hotel what I was going to do originally for this episode, I've had this stuff forever because we ended up doing Dear David first. And so this was like a long time coming. I actually started looking into another New York hotel, but I couldn't find a ton. So then I was going to look into like 2 or 3 to make a full episode and just share about different hotels. But then I ended up finding so much on this one,
Oh,
I
yeah.
just stopped. So I think the first one I did, which is also it's super interesting, there's just not as much. Maybe we'll post that as a bonus episode on Patreon because I would still love to share about it. And that one, there were parts of it that were really interesting, like all the celebrity sightings. Like somebody said, yeah, I just stopped in to have lunch and like the Jonas Brothers were sitting there. And there's photos of like Taylor Swift leaving and Johnny Depp and like all these big names that have stayed there, which is cool. But I'm also like, y'all know there's ghosts there. You can afford literally anything. That's the
Yeah.
place you choose. I'd be like, put me up at the plaza. Who knows? Maybe that's haunted too, but
Most of them probably are, especially being so historical and everything. But
yeah,
this one just has a lot of written proof and sightings,
which I'm grateful for. Thank you to all the people who shared because it gives us good content. But yeah, that's all I got for you. So, David, I hope you liked your episode. God bless you.
God bless. God bless this great country. Is that what he says?
He says, God bless you and God bless this great country. I think we've talked about this briefly on here, but he usually God blesses people when he doesn't really like you or he thinks you said something stupid.
But according to him, that's not accurate. But
he's so nice. So you hear him just, oh, God bless her. And it's like, that's the Southern version of bless her heart. That's
because sometimes most of the time he really is genuine, but then I'll catch him. I caught him a few times. He's actually done it to me, and I'm like, hey.
He did it to me so many times before I knew, and then looking back, I'm like, oh fuck. Thought we were cool.
I guess that pulls you into a circle if you get a God bless. So
it does. Yeah, you're like in the club. It's fine. But anyway, please remember to like and subscribe, share it with a friend. And if you'd like to keep up with us, we're on Instagram, Facebook, X, YouTube. It's up, but then we'll share video eventually. All under Haunted Through the Ages. And if you have any stories of your own you'd like to share with us, make sure you email those to us at hauntedthroughtheages@gmail.com. And if you do want more from us, like bonus episodes, early access to episodes, and our after hours chats, make sure to join our Patreon. And it's all linked down below in the show notes. And whatever, I don't remember right now, but whatever I said, I will link in the show notes. I will also link in the show notes. It'll all be there.
All of the stuff.
All the stuff will be there. I kind of like we do our little Carmen Sandiego segment at the end. You kind of give us a hint where we're going next week for your episode.
We're still in Michigan. Yes. Okay. Sorry.
You're like, oh God, what am I doing?
You know what? I literally drew a blank at that moment. Like, wait, I record?
Like, wait, I have to do stuff too? That's crazy.
So we are still traveling in Michigan. I got this from one of our listeners who wanted me to look into it. My very own blood loving sister there. We are going.
Oh, you don't want to say the place.
I don't remember what the city's Escanaba.
Yep.
Okay. Right. I really have struggled with saying that. That's a tough word for me.
Escanaba.
So we're staying in Escanaba up in the UP.
Mm-hmm.
And we are checking out,
which for non-Michiganders is the other part that's
the second section
connected
of
by
Michigan.
the Mackinac Bridge.
The second section of Michigan.
The Upper Peninsula. Like, what the fuck is that?
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, I forget, like, we're all over the place right now. So thank you again for listening, guys. I love that.
Thank you so much.
We're everywhere. But we are going to be up in the Upper Peninsula in Escanaba checking out the Ludington place.
Oh, you're
Hotel.
telling us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I can drop that. That's all you're going to get from
it.
me, because I mean, that's all I've got. So
it's very exciting. And if you guys also, if you have any suggestions or you want to hear anything specific, make sure you let us know. I know there's already quite a few.
Yeah.
People have been adding to Candace's list like crazy. So let us know.
Immediately I send them to Harley, like, look, there's more.
And every time I'm like, I'll take that off my list, because my list is so long. There's endless content here. There's so much to look into. So, or even if it's just like a story, or we've talked about covering like maybe possessions or whatever.
Yeah.
Anything spooky, scary, paranormal, send it over to us.
Personal experiences. We love those.
Definitely.
So yeah.
So join us next week for Escanaba.
We go.
Check out the hotel, another hotel.
Love the hotels.
Well, we will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.